our first revision class, but it will be a very short class in which I'll try to discuss a few things with you which are important for your paper also, and then we go through the notes one by one to see that what are the different things in each chapter. And of course, you can see that I am sharing this with Google Classroom, my notes, and you can, if you want to ask any question, you can message me on the WhatsApp. So tell others also to join in, whoever can. The first thing which I want to tell you that what are the command words in your paper 2? And the command words, majority of you know that it is define, explain, analyze, and discuss. The thing which we have to remember is that it's a very common mistake which the students do basically about how to answer these questions. The formatting is very important for every economics course, whatever the paper is. So the format in which you write down the answer will be very important. So here there are some tips for you. Define is just for 2 marks. So the students, they think that if they write just the definition, it will work. Sometimes it can work, but sometimes it can be a problem. For example, opportunity cost, if you have to define, you say the next best alternative sacrificed. Check the mark scheme. When you check the mark scheme, they say 1 mark out of 2. It's not the 2 marks. And 1 mark is for an example which you quote. So definitions, make sure that not only define, but also give 1 example of it. If you can give more examples, it will be fine. There is no negative marking on writing more. The only thing is that the time can be short at the end of the day. So you have to be careful that whenever you define, it has to be the definition, but a short example should be given to you. We are going to try to get as many marks as possible in paper 2. So you need to write and explain things in detail. That is the first important thing for all the parts, including define. So define and give example. Then the second command word is explain. Now in explain, this is for 4 marks. So they want a particular format for you, from the students, that identify 2 points. So you can write 2 paragraphs in explain answers, and the first paragraph, the first point, identify the first point and explain it. That is your first paragraph basically. Then in the second paragraph, you will write down the second point which you want to write, reason or causes or whatever it is, and then explain. Many students, this is a very common mistake. They think this is just a 4-mark question, so we don't have to write much. Some students even write 2 lines for a particular point. It's not acceptable. It is not going to give you the full 4 marks on that. So you need to write down the reason properly with the complete statement, and then you have to explain it. Just think for the time being that the examiner doesn't know anything and you are basically providing the explanation to him. He doesn't know anything. So think in that way. Then you can, explain the point in detail. The third one is the most tricky one. That is analyze. Analyze is 6 marks. Basically, if it is given in section B, section A in data response, it can be a 4-mark question. Analyze. But in section B, where the structured questions are given, this is going to be 6 marks. So what we are going to see, analyze question, there will always be one-sided answer. One-sided answer. For example, if they say analyze the causes of market failure, now we just have to write, positively that the market failure will occur because of monopoly, because of higher social costs, external costs, all these things. It can never be a two-sided answer. So this is the first problem. Even if they say analyze whether, then you have to support the answer. You don't have to write against it. This is analyze is something where we just write down whatever they are asking with examples, with explanation, support the idea that yes, it is basically true. Analyze basically, I recommend make 3 paragraphs. And when we make 3 paragraphs, we have to remember one more thing. A paragraph cannot be only 2 lines or 3 lines. It has to be substantial matter. At least it should be 5 to 6 lines, a paragraph. And then I tell all my students that there should be a dominoes effect. It means that one point leading to another point. That is very important. You have to link the points together. The dominoes effect means one point leading to another point. This is basically analyze. Another thing is that the students are afraid of giving examples from their local economy. For example, a student from Saudi Arabia may be thinking that the examiner doesn't know anything about the Saudian economy. A Pakistani student may be thinking that the examiner may not be knowing anything related to the Pakistani economy. You don't have to worry about that. The examiners, when they check the paper, according to the workshop, which we have, I've attended so many, the principal examiner says that we always have the Google search in front of us. So whenever we are not sure about anything, we will Google search it and check whether the student is, writing something. And even then, the principal examiner said that if the student is writing something wrong, if it is not a fact, but he is trying to explain whatever he is explaining through an example, that will be acceptable. Give as many examples as possible. And for that, you should have some knowledge related to your economy. So you should know that, what is the rate of inflation. Like inflation, Pakistan is between 12 and 15%. Unemployment is, according to United Nations, is around 40%. So we have to know about the certain facts about our local economy. That, and write with confidence those examples. Don't write less. This is the recipe for disaster. If you start writing less in your answer, you have to write more and more. Make sure that you be confident when you're writing. There is no negative marking. That is the best part of the economics paper. There is no negative marking. Even for the igcse, GCSE, O levels, IB, or even in the AS and the A levels, no negative marking. They just pick whatever you have written correctly, and they see that whether you have written the details of that. So analyze very tricky questions where majority of the students lose marks. So be careful, give examples, explain, make paragraphs. Formatting is absolutely important when you write down the answer. The fourth command word for questions is discuss. And of course, you know that this is the highest marks allocated to the discuss questions. Discuss, follow this format I am telling you, and don't forget this in any answer. The first paragraph is always, first paragraph, always an intro. Now, what do we write in introduction? The keywords. The keywords defined, the keywords, the key terms defined in the first paragraph. Secondly, the second paragraph, write in favor. Try your best to write 4 points at least. No hard and fast rule, you can write 5 over here because it is an 8-mark question. Okay, so when you write down in favor, you can think that okay, I'm just going to write 3 points, for example, in favor. How many points are left to write against it? 5. So it can be a combination that 3 in favor, 5 against, 4 in favor, 4 against, or 5 in favor and 3 against. So that all depends on you. Okay, another thing, don't list the point. They need you to explain it. So roughly when you write a discuss question, it should be coming on 2.5 page. That is an indication that you are writing enough for it. This is the least I'm telling you. If you write more, it will be great. 2.5 pages for the entire answer. Okay, so this is basically I've done that. Write in favor, second paragraph. After that, the third paragraph is basically the points against. And points against, for example, if you are writing 4 in favor, 4 points against whatever is given. Again, provide examples, give examples. If you are writing 4 points, you can write at least one example pick one of the points and then give examples over there. I'm, giving you, sharing documents also with you time to time. I think now up till now 70 odd pages I have sent. They are extremely important, and that will give you a quick review of the topic, and those points I'm calling as the X factor. Basically, that if you write those points, that will give you an edge over the other students. So remember that resource is very important. So third paragraph was telling that will be 4 points and you have to give examples. And the last paragraph, which many students don't write, they don't have any idea about it. This is your fourth paragraph. And I tell my students that what we have to write on balance, in my opinion, I would recommend, or I would conclude that unemployment cannot be occurring with inflation, because just give a brief point. Even if you are repeating the thing which you have written in the paragraph, doesn't matter, but ideally write down some new point if you can in the conclusion. So this conclusion will be very important also, and if it is having it will give a great impression on the examiner as well. After all, if the examiners are saying, for example, if the CIs say that if we just give points on the correct score on the correct points, it is the human factor. If you see something written differently and better, the impact will be there on the checker. And remember that our discussion is whatever I'm telling you is not for an A or for an A star. The things which I'm going to tell you, if you apply those things, you will be a candidate for distinction. The people who get distinction, what they actually do, they are, writing a bit differently. They are doing something differently for every subject. For example, in mathematics, they are showing each and every step, which is making it so clear that they don't get error at the end. That is one thing. Correcting the decimal to the fullest accuracy. All these things are important. So we have to remember that if we follow certain things, thinking out of the box is the most important thing in economics. Don't hesitate to write. I have seen students, they are worried, if I write this will be wrong. If you are having a solid base, you have learned your notes, facts, you know the theory, then you should be able to explain it and write something different, which will be acceptable. Now, in the mark scheme, they have stated this is something new, very new. If a student is writing something which is not there in the mark scheme, we are going to give the mark if the point is logical. Any students who would like to ask anything, who can message me on the WhatsApp, okay? So I can tell you what your query is. But what I have done over here today in the initial class, I told you about the formatting. Students, this is extremely important. Now, some other things. I have shown you, I have sent you some of the things. For example, what are the most important discussed questions? What are the most important analyzed questions? What are the most define and identify questions? And what are the most discussed questions which are there? The list is important. The reason is that those discuss, analyze, define questions never been asked in the papers before. They are absolutely brand new questions. And I have 4-part questions are with you, Suzanne Grant. So the solutions are there. Brian Titley, the Black Book, it is also a grade book, basically. And if you see the questions over there, those questions from their questions also they gave in the past in the paper 2, Brian Titley. That also I have shared section 1 and section 2, all the questions. The answers are already there. I have shared it on the WhatsApp. If you don't have it, ask me, I will share it again. But don't delete without looking at the message. That is the most important thing. If I send you something, read it. That is for your own benefit. I expect that you read it. Keep reading it whenever you have time. I'm not saying that rectify the entire thing or learn it by heart. No, read. If you can read it, many things will keep, will be there in your mind. And whenever you do the paper, it will definitely benefit you. I'm going to try to solve all those new questions which I have sent you on the discuss, analyze, and please do that as well yourself also to solve those questions. Then the X factor points. The X factor points are the points which I'm writing on my own and taking certain things from elsewhere. So multiple resources I'm using. It will only work when the teacher is putting in effort, but the student will also put in effort. The thing is that these classes I will keep short because I don't want to, take a lot of time. But today we have just seen the formatting and the things which are there. give proper time to economics, proper time, because I didn't leave anything from the book, I didn't leave anything from the past papers. So it's now time for revision. You have to revise it. Keep revising. It is not the case that you give 3 hours to one subject, 2 hours to one subject, and then 15 minutes to one subject. No, regular time has to be given. If you think that your weakness lies in economics, you need a bit of more time. But I will not be, I will not say that just do economics, don't do other subjects. No, you have to create a balance. So, but give proper time. Okay. Now, the thing which I want to show you in the first 5 chapters, there are easy concepts. For example, opportunity cost, economic goods, capital goods, producers goods. Example of opportunity cost, factors of production. What is production? Then we have production possibility curve where the students may struggle. Okay, so let me start with the production possibility curves. Sharyar asked me about the demand supply diagrams also. Sharyar, I will explain it in class will be every day now at 8. So please tell everyone that they should be joining this class because it will definitely benefit them. Okay. You can see that I'm sharing over here the first few things in our notes. I'll share it again. These are all first 5 chapters. So everything is there. You have to go through it now. You can change the wordings if you want. Needs and wants. What is the difference? Economic goods written, free goods in detail written. Then this is not very important. This is just for introduction. Okay, and then production. You can see the definition that creation of goods and services, converting the inputs into output. The factors of production defined and explained also. Then importance of the factors of production, what is included in the factor land. You just go through it. It will not take a lot of time. By the way, capital goods and producers goods are the same. What are capital and producers goods? The things which are the goods which are required for producing other goods. Mobility of factors of production, this is very important and this needs a lot of revision also. There are 2 types of mobilities, geographical mobility and occupational mobility. Geographical mobility means that the ease with which any factor of production can be shifted from one region to another region. It means that land is geographically immobile. Which factor is the most geographically mobile factor? It is one of the MCQs which were given. Enterprise, entrepreneur. Entrepreneur is the most geographically and occupationally mobile factor of production. Then we have why there are some barriers. What are the barriers in the way of the geographical mobility of labor, for example? Family ties, problem of accommodation, visa problems, for example, financial problems. All these things are there. When we talk about occupational mobility, it means the ease with which you can change the use. Remember that. The ease with which you can change the use of a factor of production. That is basically occupational mobility. And there are many things given related to it, that what are the factors which can, for example, make labor occupationally immobile. You are an engineer, for example, and now you cannot become a doctor because both of the courses are too long to study So it can't be done. Yes, there can be some occupations where you can change the profession. For example, a salesman, an engineer, for example, can become a salesman. It is not that hard to do the training. It will be a short training. After that, you can become, a salesperson also if you are an engineer. So there will be some uh, things which are related, which will make your uh, movement from one profession to another. What is the key word in occupational mobility of labor? Use. If you change the use of any factor of production from one to another, then of course there will be, you will be occupationally mobile. Capital, it is mobile. How it is occupationally mobile? I always give this example. A printer used in a school for printing the exam papers can be used by another entrepreneur in a bank to print out the bank statements, for example. Okay, so this is change of use. Uh, when we talk about the occupational mobility of land, for example, you can build a factory or you can use it for a farmland. So this you have to go through the occupational mobility, and all this is given in your notes. This question, how the quality and quantity of factors of production change, uh, how do you increase the land, basically quality and quantity, use of best fertilizers, if you mechanized the farms, more technology, that will increase the quality and quantity, pollution-free rivers, and other things. Labor, for example, how do you increase the quality and quantity? Training, for example, establishing more training schools. Uh, if you have a large population, it means that the quantity of labor may also increase, which is happening right now in Pakistan and China, for example. If there are more people in the age structure, young people in the working age group, there will be, of course, more people available as labor. If the retirement age is high, for example, Pakistan it is 60, in UK it is 65. If you increase the retirement age, of course, those people are available for work. So now this you have to see yourself that what are the different factors given over here. Capital, remember the quality of capital can be increased with the advancement in technology. And with the help of technology, you can always improve your machineries and their productivity. And automation, robotics, dynamic efficiency, this is my favorite term, as you know, that if you put up a lot of things in research and development, you will improve your machinery as well. And the quantity of capital, remember this important point, quantity of capital is increased with the help of investment. And what is investment? It is the creation of capital goods. Enterprise is always linked with loss bearing, risk taking, loss bearing. An enterprise basically can be increased in quantity or quality by, the government is providing some training programs for the entrepreneurs, providing them with some level of funds, and also providing them subsidies. All these things which are coming in your mind, where you can help out the entrepreneurs, and it will increase definitely your, the number of people who are interested in doing some sort of a business. Look at number 2, effective university courses in business, economics, and other commerce related subjects. So it means that this is a very valid point. Economics is one of the leading subjects of the future, because every country will be successful or a disaster or a failure on the basis of the economy. So the wars will be economic. It will not be that the wars will be fought in a battlefield now. No, it is all economics. And remember that the recent thing which is happening between Russia and Ukraine, the impact is economic. Oil prices are increasing, supply is restricting, so it is disturbing the entire thing. So all the entire world is after Russia that to stop it and don't be a bad kid. Everything is there. You can see. Just go through it, and it will be a recipe for success. Inshallah, we'll continue tomorrow. If you have any questions, please ask. I will be glad. Whenever a student asks me a question, I will be the most happiest person because I know that this person is reading something, not the things are not getting that clear to discuss it with me. Okay? Don't keep that in the thing in your heart because it can create heart problems. Okay? So inshallah, see you tomorrow. I am glad that you are here. Tell others also to wake up and join this class. These classes are short.